Hello, everyone, and welcome once again to Caleb Likes Books. Today I have another TBR for you for the month of August 2025. Got quite a few things here to talk about, a nice variety of books here. I have 9 things on my TBR. One of those is a comic or graphic novel, I guess. The rest of them are all books. The reason why I have so many things on my TBR this month, as you may have noticed from when I did my monthly update for July, is that I did get access to Hoopla in July through my library, and so I have been listening to some audiobooks. I do have a couple of audiobooks on my TBR. 6 of the books that are on it are ones that I will have to actually read because I own them physically or whatever. However, one of those does have an audiobook on Hoopla that I may use to supplement, I don't know. But I do have a couple extra books on here that are audiobooks via Hoopla, and that is probably not all of the audiobooks that I will do this month, but I want to include a couple on my TBR just as ones that I'm gonna do, and then anything else I decide to do for audiobooks, I kind of want to be just like a, whatever I feel like. I like the idea of having a pretty set TBR, but then I also have, I get up to 7 things I can borrow each month on Hoopla, so I want to give myself some leeway to be able to just kind of go for more of a mood read kind of thing, just whatever I feel like doing. But all of these books that I'm going to talk about, I am intending to read in August. There may be some extras that I decide to throw in if I have the chance. So, getting started, first things first, I do have a couple holdovers from last month that I didn't get to or I am finishing. First of all, there is The Hunger of the Gods by John Gwynne, which at time of recording this, I have not gotten quite as far into that as I was hoping I would. I'm thinking I'll get, decently into it by the time this video comes out, but I am probably not going to have it finished like I was hoping to. This week, I just haven't had as much time to read as I hoped that I would, so I haven't had as much time to get that in. But I am going to try to finish that up pretty close to the beginning of the month because I am currently halfway through it. And I think if I can just get back into the swing of reading it a bit more, then I can knock that out. Enjoying that though, having a good time with it. I just need to finish it up. The other holdover from July is going to be Nightmare Arcanist by Shami Stovall. That was my self-published book that I was hoping to read. Again, just didn't have time to get to it, but I figured, I didn't get to it last month, so it's going to be the first thing that I go for this month. So that is going to get done right at the beginning of August. So looking forward to that. That was sent to me earlier this year. Figured I'd try it out, and hopefully I will have a good time with that one. So, as far as other books that I am planning to get to, I have a wide variety of other stuff, some Star Wars, some fantasy, some other stuff, different things. So, as far as the other physical books and things that I'm going to be doing, I'll talk about those first. So one of those is going to be the second book in the Star Wars Dark Nest trilogy, which is called The Unseen Queen by Troy Denning. Like I said, this is the second book of the Dark Nest trilogy. I read the first book a couple months ago, didn't love it, and that's the main reason why it's taken me so long to get to book 2. I'm also stretching it out, admittedly, because I don't have the Legacy of the Force books yet, and I would like to, read those fairly soon after I finish this trilogy, but I am thinking I'm going to space, this trilogy out, a couple months, rather than doing them kind of 1 month, one book each month like I usually like to do with trilogies sometimes. But also I just didn't care too much for book 1, so I didn't really feel like reading book 2 yet. But either way, looking forward to reading this one. I hope I enjoy it more, so we'll just have to see how that goes. I have no idea what I'll think of it. Maybe I'll like it more, maybe I won't. We'll see. However, Dark Nest is not the only series I'm going to be continuing this month. I have a couple more that I'm continuing. The first of those is the second Hitchhiker's Guide to the Galaxy book, which is The Restaurant at the End of the Universe. I really enjoyed book 1. It was a ton of fun, so I am very much looking forward to book 2. And this one's going to be, a pretty quick read, I think. All the Hitchhiker's books are pretty short, and I'm pretty sure this one's shorter than the first one. So should be pretty quick, should get it done pretty quickly, and hopefully I'll enjoy it. I enjoyed the first one quite a bit, so looking forward to that. I also have, kind of in the comedic vein, I'm also going to be continuing Discworld this month with Soul Music, which is the third book in the Death series of Discworld. I have been looking forward to continuing the Death series for a very long time. I read Mort and Reaper Man a couple years ago and loved both of them, and just haven't been able to get in book 3 until, now. And I'm thinking the 4th book of the Death series, Hogfather, is like a Christmassy book, and I really want to do some Christmassy books in December. I've been wanting to do that for a long time, like for a couple of years now, for the last couple of Decembers, just never got to. But I am going to try to do Hogfather this December so that I can kind of be a little bit more on theme with that. So I figured I would throw in soul music for this month. Looking forward to that. Looking forward to getting back to the Death series. And I always enjoy reading Terry Pratchett. Even the weaker books of his that I have read. I mean, I've only read a handful of his books, but even the weaker ones, I still have enjoyed. So, and I loved the other 2 Death books, so I am sure I will love this one as well. And on top of continuing some series, much like with Nightmare Arcanist that I talked about earlier, I'm also going to be starting a couple of series as well, a couple trilogies. So the first of those is going to be the Broken Empire series by Mark Lawrence. I'm going to be reading Prince of Thorns. I have had this trilogy in my collection for a while now and just have never found a spot to fit it in. And so I figured I would throw it in this month. Seems like a relatively short book, so I think it should be pretty quick. And I have heard I've heard good things about this trilogy, but I have also heard some mixed things here and there about it, so I'm curious what I'll think of it. It seems like people who enjoy Mark Lawrence and his work really like this trilogy, but I also have just heard some other mixed opinions on specifically, more so I think, the first book from some people, so I'm curious what I'll think of it. I don't know a lot about it really, but I do remember back when this series was first coming out, I would go into the bookstore, and at the time I wasn't reading all that much, but I would go in there and I remember seeing this book on the shelves and it being pretty popular. So I'm curious to see what this will be like. So we'll see how it goes. The other trilogy that I will be beginning is the Pendragon trilogy by Stephen R. Lawhead, with the book Telesin, or however you say it, I'm not actually sure. I received this trilogy from my friend Jonathan Cohn. He had some extra Bane books that he wanted to send me, and he sent me this trilogy because I had told him I was interested in reading it sometime. This is like an Arthurian retelling, which I haven't read much of. I think I read some of the original Arthur legends and things back in high school, but I've never read a full novel about it, so I'm curious to check this out. I think this is a trilogy with some sequel books, and I own the trilogy, and then the sequel books I actually am able to get on Hoopla. They have as ebooks. They don't have the original trilogy for some reason, but they have books 4 and 5, so if I enjoy the trilogy, maybe I'll read books 4 and 5. But looking forward to this one anyway. This, again, something a little different. It's still kind of fantasy-ish, but something, more based in real life legends and things, which is just kind of cool. So I'm curious to see what I think of it. I haven't heard a lot about it, but what I've heard has been pretty positive, so I will be curious to check that out. So then that brings us to the things that I'm going to be doing on Hoopla. Like I said, I may do more than this as well, but I want to let myself have some leeway on that so I can kind of just pick and choose what I feel like listening to on top of these few that I'm going to really solidly have on my TBR. So these ones I am going to do, but anything else that I decide to do will be extra. So the first thing is the graphic novel that I mentioned. I'm going to be doing the 4th Bloodborne graphic novel, which is called The Veil Torn Asunder, which first of all is just a cool name. But I read the first 3 Bloodborne graphic novels earlier this year, I think, in March, April, and May or something like that. And I enjoyed them. I especially enjoyed the first 2. The third one was a little too cryptic for me, which I appreciate because Bloodborne also is very cryptic, but I really enjoyed the first 2 though. And once again, this one's on Hoopla. I don't have the physical copy. I'd love to get it someday, but they do have all of the Bloodborne graphic novels, so I'm thinking I'm going to do number 4 this month, and then I'll probably do 5 and 6 in the next couple months. So looking forward to this one. I love Bloodborne and I enjoyed the other graphic novels, so I'm hoping I will have a good time with this one as well. One of the other things that I'm planning to do on audiobook is the first Elder Scrolls tie-in book, which is called The Infernal City. This is, I believe it was a tie-in book that came out around the time of The Elder Scrolls 4 Oblivion. I think this came out back in like the late 2000s or something like that. I can't remember exactly. But I think it was more so a tie-in for Oblivion. But I haven't heard a lot about the Elder Scrolls books, but I've been wanting to read them for a while. I'm a fan of the Elder Scrolls. I haven't played a ton of the games. I played a lot of Skyrim. I've played a decent amount of Oblivion and a little bit of Morrowind, but I do really enjoy this world, and all that kind of thing. So I've been curious to check out these books, and also I just want to read more media tie-in books as well. Check out stuff from other media properties that I'm a fan of, and Elder Scrolls is one of those. And so there's two Elder Scrolls books. There's this one and there's another one. So I'll probably try to fit in the other ones sometime on my TBR later this year if I can. Yeah, hoping I'll enjoy that one. That's by Greg Keyes as well, which I think he wrote a handful of New Jedi Order books that I really like from Star Wars. So I am really hoping I enjoy this. Yeah. Looking forward to that. And speaking of media tie-in fiction, I did not intend for this to also be a media tie-in book, but it is. The other audiobook that I'm going to plan to do for my TBR on Hoopla is going to be Assassin's Creed Brotherhood by Oliver Bowden. I've been wanting to read more of the Assassin's Creed books for a while. I've read The Secret Crusade and I've read Renaissance, which are the tie-in books for Assassin's Creed 1 and 2 respectively. And I've been wanting to read more of the books for the Ezio trilogy. And I've also read the Black Flag novelization as well. And I've been wanting to read more of these, and they have the Ezio books on Hoopla. So I figured I would check this out, and then later this year, maybe I'll check out Revelations. I've played these games already, but it'll be nice to kind of get a novelization version, something that I'm already familiar with, but get it in a little bit of a different way that hopefully will do something interesting with the story. And it is a story that I do already enjoy, so hopefully I'll have a good time with that. I've enjoyed all the other Assassin's Creed books that I've read, hopefully I'll have a good time with that one as well. So that is my TBR for the month of August. Quite a bit here, but like I said, some audiobooks that I'm going to be doing probably while I'm working or doing chores around the house or something, and then some other books that I am going to be actually sitting down and reading. But a lot of these are pretty short, so I think a few of them I should be able to get through pretty quickly, like Hitchhikers and Discworld and stuff. Yeah, looking forward to all of these though. And if I don't get to all of these, then some of them may end up on my September TBR or something like that. I don't know. But we'll see how it goes, though. I'm looking forward to all of these. So let me know in the comments if you have read any of the books that I have discussed in this video, if you read them, if you liked them, if you didn't, or if you haven't read any of these, but if there's any that you're interested in checking out at some point, let me know down in the comments. And yeah, so that's pretty much it for this one. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you all next time.